people think that politics and personal relationships are contained with absolutes, right? So if you disagree on one thing, you can't possibly be friends. You know, this is the old story, right? If you're looking for somebody who you agree with 100% of the time, just look in the mirror, because you're the only person you agree with 100% of the time, right? And so the fact of the matter is that Jim and I, if we have certain philosophical disagreements, we live with that. That's what our country is about. People have different ideas, and you know, we'll advocate for their ideas in the public place. But this is much more important than that. First, let me say that I have real respect for Jim as a person, and he's committing his life to trying to help others, and I think that's extraordinarily laudable. Secondly, he's a part, and this is the argument I've made to him for a number of times privately, now I make it publicly, he's part of a really exclusive club of people who have been elected by the people of this state to be their governor. Now, the fact is, I told him I wanted him back in the club. I didn't want him disappearing. I wanted him back. I invited him to all the State of the States from the time I was here, and the budget addresses. In the beginning, he wouldn't come. And eventually, I just keep calling and bugging him enough, and he finally showed up. And the fact of the matter is that there's lots that I can learn and that others can learn from listening to people who have sat in the same chair that I'm now sitting. So the idea that I have any level of discomfort in sitting next to Jim McGreevey or being with him, I don't. In fact, he has been, I will tell you privately, extraordinarily helpful to me when there have been problems and issues that I've had to deal with as governor that only someone else who's had this job can understand. And there have been often times I picked up the phone and talked to Jim, and he's been able to give me advice and counsel, some of which I've accepted, some of which I've rejected. But the fact is, he's been willing to do that for me. I don't feel uncomfortable at all sitting with someone who's willing to do that and is doing with his life now what he's doing with his life. And so, yeah, no, I feel no level of discomfort at all. Now, this will really be bad if he says now he feels really uncomfortable sitting next to me. This will be really bad, but I've thrown it out there, so what do you got there, Jim?
I think we're all blessed to have the governor here, and David, you know, my life right now is focused on prison ministry, and it will be, you know, to the end of my days. And I've had numerous conversations with the governor on treatment, on my frustration with the fact that 96% of the people that are released that are behind bars are going to be released, but yet we don't give them the tools necessary. And this governor, in two State of the State addresses previously, talked about the need for treatment with the support of the legislature. And I've just got the greatest personal respect and admiration for a governor. You know, I'll just say that, David, that there probably aren't many registered Republicans in this room. And the governor's here. The governor's here because he's committed to treatment. And what's special is it's a heartfelt commitment. And I remember one time the governor sharing with me a discussion about a particular issue. And it's something that stuck with me profoundly. He said, Jim, I think this is the right thing to do. If I don't get reelected again, so be it. But I feel in my heart and soul this is the right thing to do. And so, you know, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, maybe 6 months ago, it would not have been popular to be sitting in a jail talking about treatment. But Christie did it because he believes in it. And as a citizen, I'm so grateful for that leadership.